MPL Indonesia. It's the RRQ, their champion Shin is the one using this kind of hero, and he's using High and Jirai.
Yes.
And are we gonna be seeing it for Chujin? Who knows?
Clearly, these guys, they're just showing us what they're capable of.
Yes.
And this is what I love about the playoffs. No holds barred, everything goes out. This is single eliminations, ladies and gentlemen. There is no room for you to hide strats here. One fatal mistake could just take you out of the tournament, and this is what it's all about. MPL PH Season 6, the playoffs. This is only day number 1, and we already had our 30-minute game. Now, looking at both sides here, who will get the upper hand in terms of late game?
That's gonna be the question, as both teams, they did secure heroes that could scale on late game, but somehow on the side of Execration, they do have here this 2 marksman, but at the draft, it may be, and still gonna be the average. That's the first thing that I did look on the Claude. So basically, that's gonna be on side lane. So I just want to point out on that Claude is that the average Claude really need to scale on damage. I mean, having a Demon Hunter Sword first item will not gonna do enough. But what's what is beneficial for that kind of emblem is that it's gonna be spammable. You want to make it fast in terms of rotation. And what do you think, Butters?
I think in a way, Demon Hunter Sword is one of the items that they really still have to go for. Like, there are a lot of tanky heroes onto the side here, for side of Execration. Now, why do you go for that? It's more on the idea that you really just wanna put it in a way where he's not forced to fight into the early game. The moment you let the Claude fight into the early game and you need the Claude to fight in the early game, that only means one thing. You're losing already.
Yes, you're losing. I mean, it's like your Claude is your insurance going into the late game.
And if you see a Claude defending and just waiting, just doing the waiting game against another team, that only means you're losing. But if a Claude is just fixing his own engagement with the Blazing Duet, then that means the other way around.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. There are things that you really want to see here for the side of Cignal Ultra to align. I think for the side of Execration, it's much more easier. The laning phase, the laning capability for the side of, Roger and 1-1, it's actually much easier to pull off. Now, for Claude, why was Claude strong at some points of the tournament in terms of just getting picked? It was more on the idea that he had access to the jungle. Now, if you're a lane and you have the Claude, then that means at a certain point in time, the lane will just bow out of the jungle and give it all to Claude.
Yeah.
So that only means that if Hades doesn't have a good game here, there's a time where he couldn't really bounce back, as he needs to give those resources to their main carry, which is going to be the Claude.
Yeah, so they do have this option. If Hades cannot be able to pull it up early game, just give it to Chujin. And this could give them an upper hand, specifically going into the late game. But as I was thinking, I think in terms of the early game, if Mlbb on its Farsa could be able to snowball, I mean, they do have this 1-1 that's very squishy enough, and they could be able to get pickup from here. And I was really thinking on how Execration could be able to defend during the early stages of the game, as their heroes were quite, I'm not gonna say mediocre, probably those heroes that they had right now is not really doing great early game. Yes, the Uranus can be very tanky and could be able to hold such lanes onto the top lane, but the Farsa is making it a little bit different. And who knows, I mean, Kagura is slow as well in terms of scaling and damage. He actually needs to be level 4 at least together Chakno's Jawhead. So for Execration's winning condition, probably still gonna hold up until they get to level 4. But for the side of Cignal Ultra, they could be able to pull off something just even before hitting, or even our so-called laning phase, wherein there is energy shield on the top, on the what do you call this? The outer turrets is still there. They could be able to pick up anyone, I guess, or rather, at least the 1-1 is gonna be a target, or rather even a Kagura, or yeah, I really don't know. I'm just excited, but for now, I want to see how Cignal Ultra bounce back. I mean, from the loss that they had during game number 2.
It's a 1-1, and whoever gets this game 3, they will have they will have momentum on their side.
Yes.
And whoever loses this certain game will always have it in the back of their minds that one more loss on a game could mean tournament life ending at that point in time.
Yes, I do agree with you. I mean, everyone's getting this game is just one step or one game closer to be able to go into round number 2. And again, guys, if you just tuned in, Sagitnu just did die there as a Uranus, and it's hard. And Chaknu here just trying to poke down the purple buff here for the Ling, just to try to get or to burn down time for the Ling. Will he be able to do it? Will he be using Cyclone Eye and try to eject it? But that's gonna be risky. No, I just watch it out.
Yeah,
Check it.
you know what they did there at that point? They hugged that buff. They hugged the buff. Like as a team, they hugged it out. They stuck together. And what happened there was no opening for Chakno. He could have gone for it, but he could have went for the flicker. But there was let's say, what, a 33% chance of getting the right target at that point for the ejector, and that's a chance you're not willing to take.
Yes, I really like you pointed that out. That's a very keen observance that he did there. I mean, yeah, getting crumpled into, three of them with the purple buff and the 2 members from Execration, or rather Cignal Ultra, just securing it. And just Chakno just looking at that the purple buff has been taken. But now, still we're just waiting. What did actually happen there?
That was a very costly takedown onto the top lane. Like Uranus uncharacteristically just went down.
Yes.
And it's not about the player. It's about the certain nature of hero that you don't really bully out a Uranus that easily. Because Uranus at early levels, yes, you're gonna have a hard time. But as long as you stick in taking down the creeps, that could really mean you forcefully in telling people that I want to get to level 4. When the time I get level 4, it comes, let's fight. That's what you want. But against a Thams has been easily one of the best dual heroes onto the side lanes. You have Khalid, you have Yuzhong, and you have Thams. In terms of dueling, they're one of those guys are the best.
Yes.
So you pick your fights when you're in the side lane. Not all fights are winnable. And there's a reason why there's a certain pool of heroes that you want to go for when you are going to go side lane. Just because it's the advantage that you can get by picking these heroes is that they're strong laners. And when you duel them, the other team has a hard time.
Yes.
Now, looking at that, Rob Luna, what do you think should Sagitnu do here? Because that really gave a huge advantage for Rhea.
I was still thinking if Rhea did have an execute right there, because that's the only thing. Because, I mean, dying as a Uranus against a Tamus, yes, into the laning phase, if you are a Uranus user, you don't have your ulti yet, of course, Tamus will definitely outshine you since you are not tanky enough. You have this avarice, yes. But if the Tamus did have an execute, and that's gonna be a different set of scenario, because just constantly spamming the molten sites and just getting the passive out of it is really strong. I mean, you're not. I mean, as strong as level 4 is a must for the Uranus, but this is what's gonna be a hard time for Uranus if the Tamus here just stay on this lane. He will not be capable of doing what he has to do, like cutting the minion waves, or rather the other Uranus user just going inside the base of their opponents and trying to cut 2 minion waves, either top as well with the mid. But yeah, I guess giving that kill, Cignal Ultra may actually had an upper hand here, for at least for the early game.
You know what? I'd say
What?
it's too early to say.
It is well, I guess it's really too early to say.
I mean, we could put out a lot of these theories
Of course.
outside the window. We can throw everything outside the window.
Yeah.
And let's just say that, Tams will get a deadly blade, then
Yeah.
Tams will just have a upper hand. Then, when it doesn't happen, what happens next? We can just keep on throwing this all around. But remember, sometimes mechanical skill actually takes play in
Indeed.
terms of these kinds of scenarios. Now, for the side of Execration, I'm actually seeing that 1-1 and that Roger in a very, how do I say this? It's not a tricky spot in any way. It's, you can pull it off. But the thing is, if the Roger doesn't really go well, then that means your 1-1 is gonna be the main target for the side of Cignal Ultra.
Yes. And that's going to be their winning condition right now. It's just to hold it off. Or, I mean, for the Roger, it's just he has to farm it. I mean, Execration doesn't need to be very aggressive here, specifically on the early game, because they can't not be able to do it.
Oh, wow.
But Shujin here might Cignal very... What? Look at that. It's
Oh,
actually
very
went front,
cutie.
but
Wow!
that was, I mean, BMI did save his life at some time, but it's been level 4 for Chujin.
That was in paper gonna save his life, but ladies and gentlemen, that placement of that stun, Benny Cutie, masterful display on playing that 1-1. He
Yeah.
put that in an area where Claude will get forced in an area where it's closed, it's narrow, and he's isolated.
Yes, isolated, and you really like how Cignal did went through the Claude is forced him to do a BMI back to where his monkey is, but now it's looked like Cignal Ultra is actually not holding on. I mean, like what you've said, if this Chojin, I mean, it's just been defending and not really using its utilizing its
Oh, Benny.
He might
Oh,
actually
they
get a
returned the-
revenge kill here.
They returned the favor.
They did.
If 1-1 trap them, then Porza is gonna trap the 1-1 as well. And when that is happening, Rob, mind you, a turtle has been slain on the side of Execration.
Yeah, so I guess Execration is still happy that, yes, 1-1 did die, but their other core is still alive. And so that Hades is dying on for the Kagura. Not something you see every day, Butters. I mean, how hard it is for you to be able to kill a Ling with just your umbrella.
I do agree. How often do you see a Kagura taking down a Ling?
Yes, yes, and now somehow Etomax did win against Hades here. Now, what's going so well here, I guess, for Cignal Ultra is that Rhea still having a good farm, and now he's actually returning the favor as well for Etomax.
And Hades here will go down in the process as well, and he will go down at the hands of the Roger. 1-1 joining fight as well. He does have the corrosion sight. Look at this. Hate will try to fight this head on. Benny Cutie onto the bottom lane. He has free reign over that. And Sujin dying twice already.
He actually don't need to go into Benny Cutie here. I mean, Benny Cutie doesn't really care about the Basha there. She's a half HP. And now, I guess they're just giving punch after one another. But here comes the Gillette instant replay. #shave the day. Look at here. Etomax getting picked up. What actually saved here Ben Sanity is actually pop up the Revitalize and been tanking it off. Even Hate's damage wasn't enough to clear off the Basha. But look at here. Rhea might actually die, but still too tanky and not enough damage for the crossbow tank of Benny Cutie. Now, I guess it's still even out. Both towers on the bottom lane were down, and it's gonna be the turtle, another one. I guess the first turtle was taken by Execration, if I'm not mistaken.
One thing that I want to talk about here, Rob, I want to know your insights here.
Alright.
Chujin and Benny Cutie battled it out onto the bottom lane. Benny Cutie won that with the weakness finder and everything else. So, do you think that Cignal Ultra is put in a bad spot already just because of that certain duel that they had? I mean, 1-1 is one of those heroes that really have good duel capability.
Yes, yes. I think Execration did won that one for the side of Benny Cutie. I mean, he is actually untouched right now. I mean, look at that. Even the one who's been doing great on the top lane, which is Samus, still having a hard time going against the 1-1, but Etomax will actually be on the wrong side of the map. And look at it. Benny Cutie is just bullying Rhea here, which is doing really great on the top lane. And now, Cignal is just doing what he has to do, which is cutting the lane, and Shujin cannot be able to do anything about it.
Yeah, and the thing is, Rob, why can a 1-1 bully out a Thams? It's all because of the corrosion side.
Corrosion
Now,
side, yes.
If ever, ladies and gentlemen, that Rhea wants to force a fight against a 1-1, look at this. There is actually a stun that's gonna happen here. And look at all the damage that Benny Cutie is dealing. Rhea here is the next target. He's gonna use the crossbow of tank. Can he get another kill here? No, he doesn't. Benny Cutie going in. He still wants Bensanity, and look at this. Benny Cutie still wants to fight. This isn't really the matchup that you want to take, but Benny Cutie is still alive, and he gets hit by that wheel.
The only thing that I knew that the reason why he actually did it is that probably his crossbow attack is about to go off, because you're not going into 3 heroes. I mean, yes, you might actually get, or probably he's just buying time for Hate.
Yeah, and Hate here, he got what he wanted. He got the second turret onto the top lane. Execration, they are having a good time dealing with the players here for the side of Cignal Ultra. This Claude lane combination isn't really working well on the side of Cignal Ultra.
Yes, it's not working. So does their strategy they did on game number 1, the side lane Hades. Here is not what we've been seeing. Etomax going down for Hades. This might be the comeback potential coming from Cignal Ultra. They're not finished. They're eyeing here for Cignal and might want to push the middle lane.
They okay, for the side of Cignal Ultra, they are letting the Claude breathe, and that's a good thing. Now, Rob, looking at Execration here, they're really doing a great job. He's not really getting a lot of those kills, but he is given space to farm as well. And now looking at it, I am liking the draft here of Execration in terms of getting the power spike, because as we all know, Benny Cutie has been the king of the bottom lane as much as possible here. But Chujin getting chased down by Cignal. Cignal doesn't have the execute to back that up. He does have the purify, but Cignal doesn't really care. He's just gonna go back into the lane. He has enough mana regeneration to back up that lane staying capability, lane staying prowess that Uranus has. Look at that enchanted talisman. That's all he needs.
Yes, that just to sustain its mana, could be able to pull up even with its HP. But DJ might actually eject here, but there's gonna be a Fury fight.
Rhea is the next target. There is a feathered airstrike, ladies and gentlemen. Roger going in. Thams will be taken out. Bensanity here is the next target. Jawhead, backshot. That was actually the backshot going down. Jawhead is actually on the other side.
Yes. Did you see how nimble Hades is? He actually knew that they're not going to be winning that team fight. He just went through the mid lane and tried to cut the minion waves. And I guess that was a very intelligent move. But what's really dragging Cignal Ultra right now is the Claude itself. I mean, he is incapable of holding its own lane. Anyone from the side of Execration could go toe-to-toe with the Claude right now. Yes, he do have here the Demon Sword, you already have the Golden Staff, but I guess it's still not going to be enough for the tanky heroes of Execration.
Yeah, and look at this. Chujin, they're chasing down Cignal, and they see that Lord take. Roger is there near the area. Hades going in! He steals the Lord, returning the favor from earlier game number 1. Hate on the other side. He gets clawed.
He gets clawed? Not really, but they did take Hades.
I mean, he gets clawed in terms of claw, but that wasn't really the perfect thing to say because there's a Claude on the other side as well. So
yeah, that was the light.
He gets scratched.
He gets scratched.
there.
Yes, yes. And he actually fall down right from there. But I guess he would take it any day because they did take the Lord. And that was, well, I guess Execration still have the lead here regardless the Lord was stolen. But what the thing here for Cignal Ultra is did buy more time for the Claude to be able to go online because right now
Look at this.
it's not dealing any much.
They actually isolate Benny Cutie here,
They
but
did.
Bensanity, this isn't really the right time. This isn't really the right target to go 1v1 with.
Yes, and you can see how fast Execration just melted through that Lord level 1. And still, we're back into square one. And I like what Hades was doing. He actually stole the purple buff there for an Execration side.
And right now for the side of Cignal Ultra, they know that they're not out of the woods just yet. They're clearly just getting back from this blunder that they went through earlier. Cignal here is still the target, but look at that regeneration. Bensanity here will go down. There is the revitalize, but that won't be enough as his damage output is just way too much onto the side of Execration. But look at Cignal Ultra here. When everything was happening, Hades goes to the bottom lane.
Yes, they went through the bottom lane just to try to force a reaction for Execration. But what did actually happen there is that they didn't get the Cyclone Eye. That's the reason why Saget was alive. That was already a 5-man gank for the Uranus. And the only thing that saved him was the Cyclone Eye. And anyone from... There was actually 2 heroes on the bushes right there could be able to take it before they actually go to Sagitnu, and they didn't. And that's what saved them.
I actually think that regardless, Sagitnu could have been taken down.
Yeah.
Just because of the brute force breastplate. If they cannot,
too tanky.
if he cannot be put in the farthest place as much as possible, that's going to be a that's going to be a huge problem for them. But that's going to be a double kill onto that jungle. Onto the side of Cignal Ultra, Rhea still once more. Sagitnu, look at this. He's hugging out Mlbb and the others. They're just waiting for that certain minion wave to come up top. And they are just pushing their luck here. They're taking down all the turrets that they can get. And look at this. Hades will use the Tempest of Blades to get out safely, but Tate has something in mind. He goes straight for that takedown. He takes down that Tabs. One less person onto the side of Cignal Ultra. Mid lane is creeping up as well. Will they take down that middle turret too? I don't think so.
Yes, I don't think so too. But now Cignal Ultra is actually paying off, opening this Uranus. We've seen Sagitnu just standing into like 4 members of Cignal Ultra inside their base, and they cannot be able to do anything about it. Yes, I think Mlbb did have a necklace right now, but their damage is not enough. Look at Shujin, just tickling, or rather giving just an itch for this Uranus, and that his damage was close to nothing at this point.
Yeah, Execration, they're just playing with whatever the hell there is, resource there is onto the map right now. Wind of Nature is on that 1-1. That is a requirement right now, because you know what? You can still get hit by the Blazing Duet.
Yes, Blazing Duet. Right now, what are the only heroes that the Blazing Duet Chujin has to be able to kill probably is Etomax or even Benekut. But aside from that, I mean, 3 heroes from Execration is very tank. Even he could be able to withstand the damage coming from Chujin, and that was Hades.
Oh my goodness, Cignal! Cignal, you madman. They don't have a retribution here. Etomax and Benekut, they are the targets. And look at this! The knock-up is there. Chujin here goes down to the turret. And Cignal gets that kill.
Oh my god. But it looks like Mlbb is still alive and managed to get a kill. Benekut and as well with Etomax. But Cignal, despite that triple kill,
they're not letting Mlbb go back to base. They're not letting Mlbb go back to base. They just want to end this at this point. Cignal is just stalling time. He doesn't go down. Look at this, Mlbb. Oh! Play after play! Mlbb, the only one who could have defended, couldn't go home.
that was amazing.